there's any number of ways that fraudsters are trying to steal information, get that information to then engage in other criminal activities, whether it be credit card fraud, identity theft.
Montgomery County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Welcome back to another episode of Voices of Service. We are thrilled to have Detective Petty with us once again. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
In today's episode, we are going to talk about a unique form of deception, skimmers. These tiny devices have the power to silently steal your personal information, leaving you vulnerable to financial loss and identity theft. So get ready to be informed, empowered, and inspired as we uncover the secrets of skimmers. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you, the episode we did on the gold scam, we had a lot of thankful residents that we talked about that have shared that they had that family conversation to make sure that they protect people that they're involved with. And really, I love the relationship we're building with our fraud section here, because there's so many things that people don't know what's going on in and around them. And there's easy ways that they can protect themselves. And there's easy ways that businesses can protect us. And so we want to talk about that with you. I mean, it was fascinating. We were well, you were here. We were talking just before you got on. You all found 5 of these skimmers the other day.
Correct.
So, I mean, this is something happening every week. Yes.
It is, for whatever reason, becoming more and more prevalent, not just in Montgomery County, but in the region, across the country. We are seeing the prevalence of skimmers, both attached to point of sale, POS, where you pay at the grocery store, at a shopping center, in any retailer, also at ATMs, where it's capturing your data when you put your card in or when you're putting your PIN in, and also at gas stations. We're not seeing the prevalence of the gas stations, but they do exist. So, there's any number of ways that fraudsters are trying to steal information, get that information to then engage in other criminal activities, whether it be credit card fraud, identity theft. It's a whole range of things that they can do once they capture that data from your card.
So what data are they capturing? Like what are they getting from these skimmers, whether it's on the ATM or at a store?
Yeah, well, so at a store, depending upon how you pay, there are different ways you can pay for a transaction at a store. You can either have the cashier key in your card number and your information. We don't necessarily see as much of that anymore because we have the swipe. You can swipe your magnetic stripe on the back of your card through the point of sale. There's also the little chip, the EMV, it's Europay, MasterCard, Visa. You can insert that into the point of sale, or then there's now the tap, where you can just wave your card over the point of sale and it pays for the transaction. So those are the different ways. So depending upon which card you use, whether it's your credit card or your debit card that's associated with a bank account, the suspects are interested in getting your money.
Right.
They're interested in getting your money any which way. So if it's your debit card that's associated with your bank account, they want your card number so that they can then create an additional card while you still have your legitimate card. And then they can then go to the bank and then make a withdrawal, or they can go to another store and make a purchase on that card. If it's your credit card, similar information. They want your card information, your card number, so that they can then create a credit card while you still have your legitimate card and go to the store, rack up a bunch of sales, or go online and make a bunch of purchases. So, it's all a way to get to your money.
So, I got had a few years back.
Yeah.
I went to a ball game, not going to say where. I went to buy something from a vendor up on the top floor, remember it vividly, and hours later, my card's being run up in Walmart. That's how fast that they can do this. Yeah. So now I know with that one, it was before the advent of this chip, right? So they swiped it and they were gone. And luckily it was my credit card. But so you're here, okay? Tell us, Cassandra and I, what's the best way I can use my cards to make a transaction, because honestly, we got to keep living, right? This stuff is scary.
It is, yeah.
But there's ways we can do this where we're safer.
Correct. So what I would say is, don't use your debit card anywhere. Just don't.
Why not?
Because your debit card is associated with your bank account. It's connected directly to your bank account. Your credit card is not. So if we think of what's going to keep the fraudster, the furthest away from all of your money, is going to be not using your debit card. So
Right.
if they have access to that debit card number, and maybe you have an ATM skimmer where they have the PIN.
That's what I was going to ask. Can they get our PIN number?
They can. Yes, they can.
Okay.
So with an ATM skimmer, rather than just, having the card number, if they have a camera above where you're typing in the PIN, they can capture that data and, coincide that with the card number when you enter your card into the ATM. So those two things go together. They can go to another ATM with a cloned credit card, a cloned bank card, and then make withdrawals from your account just as if it were you. So I would suggest that if you're going to make a purchase at any retailer, the grocery store, the mall, convenience store, use a credit card.
So you bring up something interesting there, because we have people in our community that some of them don't like to deal in credit at all. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do everything in cash, and they just use their debit cards. They don't understand the security that they get from a credit card. And to be honest, the points. I love the points.
Yes.
I can say this, I think. I have Southwest Airlines. I love the points on Southwest, right? So I use the credit card.
Yes.
And then I pay my bill every month.
Yes.
But that's a way to protect yourself.
It is a way to protect yourself, and I am completely understanding and cognizant of people don't want their interest rates to go up, or they don't want to pay the interest on that credit card. But if you look at it like, if you were going to use your debit card to make a purchase at, let's say, a retailer for clothes, you were going to make that purchase for $200 anyway with your debit card. That suggests that you had the money to pay for that $200 purchase. So what if you just made the purchase on your credit card?
Right.
Once you got home,
Transfer the money.
pay it off once you get home.
Easy peasy.
Pay it off before the interest rates hits at the end of the month. It may not be as easy for everybody, but just understanding that if you were going to pay for it anyway with a debit card, the money was going to come out of your account. Pay off the credit card. It's one extra step.
That provides security.
It's one extra step to provide security, but I would rather take that extra step to provide security rather than giving a fraudster carte blanche to my bank account.
Absolutely.
Full access to my bank account to then withdraw as much money as they want. Because if I had to pay my mortgage that month, if I had to pay for childcare, if I had to pay for any other bill, I am then waiting on the bank to verify that I didn't complete that fraudulent transaction in another state or another country.
Correct.
Right.
And I don't necessarily want to wait for the bank to do that.
Right.
Because if it takes them 30 days, well, that's 30 days and I'm out whatever that amount of money that the fraudster stole.
Right.
Now the other one I love, and I'm sorry, I'm hijacking again,
You're
Cassandra.
good.
The other one I love, maybe it's I don't know why. I just think it's magic.
Yeah.
The whole tapping thing.
The tap.
So everyone has cards now with chips. I see left and right, but I still see people plugging them into the machine or swiping them down.
Yeah.
The tap is safe.
The tap is the safest. I believe the tap is the safest route to go. The least safest way to go is to hand your card to somebody and have them key it in.
Okay.
The safest route is the tap.
Okay.
And that includes Apple Pay, because I know I asked
And
earlier.
that does include Apple Pay. It includes Apple Pay.
Is there a Google equivalent?
I don't know.
No.
Well, there is. I want to say there is. I don't know if there's
Google
Google Pay.
Pay
Is there
or
Google Pay?
something?
I'm gonna
I don't
look
know.
off. I'm gonna look off
I
screen
believe
right
there's
now. We
Google
have
Pay.
someone that likes Android stuff. He's not giving me an answer. Okay. We'll figure out. I'm sure they have something that you can pay.
I'm sure they do.
Where you
Yeah.
do it with
So
your phone.
yeah, but the tap is the best route to go.
Okay.
Because you're not giving any data from your magnetic stripe to that point of sale.
Right.
So as soon as you put it in, as soon as you put your card into the point of sale, the register there, it's reading the data off of the stripe. So if there's a skimmer on the point of sale, it's going to capture that data from that magnetic stripe.
Now, I know in a previous episode we did show the skimmer.
Yes.
But for somebody who has not seen it, can we show them? And what are some red flags that we can look for? Because for all intents and purposes, this looks exactly like what I last night purchased something, and that's what it looked like that I used.
It does. Yeah.
So what is it that we can look for to know if there's possibly a skimmer where we are getting ready to check out?
Yeah, so this is an overlay. It has the CVS pharmacy logo on it. It's not.
But they will not all have.
They will not all have. No. So this is not from an active case. This is an old case. This is exactly what it looks like. There are different variations of them. They may be a little smaller. They may be a little narrower. But you're going to see something with a type of pin pad. There's going to be an ability to insert a card into here, and the ability to swipe a card down here. So the way you can tell that a overlay skimmer has been attached to a point of sale, if it's fallen off, if it does not look like it is all together, if it looks like it's falling apart, that's an issue. That's an issue.
So when I go to the grocery store and you do the self-checkouts, right? Do they hit them all at once, or do they just hit one of them, or do they? So could you look at the other ones and say, okay, one of these doesn't look like the other?
Yes, you could. Depending upon how savvy the fraudsters are, they may hit more than one at one location, but you're typically going to see one or two. They're not going to have the ability to hit all of them. That's just too much of a risk, because they have to apply it quickly and get out quickly. And you're not going to see them make a purchase with a card once they attach it, because then the data is going to be on that skimmer, and if we end up confiscating it, we can then get that information and look at the very first transaction. So the fraudster is always going to pay with cash.
Right.
And I know the one that I just watched the other day, that's exactly what he did. He made a purchase at a 7-Eleven after he applied the overlay, and he handed the cashier cash, because he knew, well, I'm not going to put my card in here because
I just applied it.
You just applied it. And so if they get it, the very first piece of data on there,
they're coming to me.
It's coming to a card that I possess. So for some retailers, they will have a sticker on it, and that sticker will cover from the top over to the side of the point of sale. So if that is broken, if it looks like it's been taken apart, that's an issue. Doesn't necessarily mean that has a skimmer on it, but it's something to take note of. It does not look right. So that's one thing that retailers can also do to help prevent.
That was going to be my next question. Is what can businesses do? Now we understand a little bit about what we can do as individuals, but what can businesses do to help prevent this? So
I know that we mentioned the stickers, having the sticker applied from the top over to the side, so it shows that it's not been compromised, and associates and cashiers can look readily to see, okay, the sticker's there, everything is okay. If they don't see the sticker, then something may be wrong. There was a retailer in the area that I was in the other day that I saw they had a metal device that goes from the side over to the top. And I'll say it was Walmart. It was Walmart. I don't know if all Walmarts have it, but it was definitely at the self-checkout line. And I first time I had seen it in a store. It's from the side, it goes up and it goes over. So it makes it hard for a fraudster to apply this, because remember, they have to walk up. First off, they have to carry it into the store. Then they have to take it out of whatever pocket or bag that they have, and then they have to put it on, and they have to do it in a matter of seconds. So with that device, you have to go around that device. This has to come up in the air, and you've got to slide. It is cumbersome to apply. Okay. So that was the first time I had seen it, and kudos to that particular Walmart for doing that, because they obviously recognized, okay, either they've been compromised or they know that it exists, the compromise is out there, and it is a potential for them to have that issue. So they took preventive measures for it.
So that's the other amazing thing, and we should give kudos, but changes like that and changes like the chip have been a long time coming in the United States.
Correct.
Europe's been ahead of us.
Way ahead of us.
Way ahead of us.
Yep.
And preventing this kind of fraud that affects you, me. Well,
Correct.
it's affected me. I don't know if you're going to admit to anything, but.
It has affected me too. Yes.
And we're cops.
Correct.
So it's amazing that we're so far behind.
Yes.
But it seems like we're catching up.
So we're definitely catching up. It is always slow to make change. It all boils down to the will and the desire and frankly money sometimes to make those changes. But luckily there is a shift. So hopefully we'll start seeing retailers, at the very least, to prevent this or to, try to stem the flow of it with the stickers. You can get a roll of stickers with a company logo on it.
Yeah.
Pretty cheap, I think.
Right.
I don't think that's a huge cost to a company.
Nor is it very cumbersome.
And it's not cumbersome, yeah.
Right.
Maybe the device to apply, or maybe the metal device, maybe that's a little bit more cumbersome and costly for retailers to apply. But I don't see a sticker being an issue. And I think that's something that every business that has a point of sale where they are expecting a customer to pay or potentially pay with a credit card or debit card, to just apply a sticker. Have your logo on that sticker, apply it to it, and tell your cashiers, hey, every couple of hours during your shift,
Double check that.
just look at it. Once a day, look at it.
Right.
Because if we can catch it pretty quick, we will slow the amount of data the fraudsters are stealing. These things can sit on a point of sale for days. Sometimes we catch them pretty quick. Sometimes it can be up there for 3 or 4 days, and by that time, just imagine how many customers have gone through.
Hundreds, if not thousands.
Easily.
Absolutely.
And if you figure if all they need is 1 or 2 customers to go through a day to get $3,000 or $4,000 from their accounts, we know that they're getting more than that. But if you figure that amount of money in one day, you can really see large financial losses, which is why this particular industry, the skimmer industry, is a $1 billion loss in the U.S. easily. That's on the conservative end. But you will never fully know what the losses are because they're always out there.
Right.
And you're always trying to catch up to catching them.
Now, quickly, I know, we know some red flags to look for in the point of sale. But at an ATM, I guess I'm kind of just blown away by the fact that they could also get my PIN.
Correct.
So if I'm at an ATM and I'm there expecting, at my bank to get money, are there any red flags that I can look for there to try to protect myself? Or should I just go inside?
Yeah. So we actually had one recently that another detective in our office, she was working the case, and she actually just charged some individuals. It wasn't really a skimmer. It was a cash trap. So it was a device that was installed onto the ATM to capture the cash that would have been dispensed after you make your withdrawal. So you put your card in, you type your PIN, you say, I want $200.
It doesn't come out.
It does not come out. And they think that the ATM is broken. And so they call and they say, hey, the ATM is broken. And they say, okay, we'll send the service person out. Meanwhile, the fraudster's probably nearby looking, waiting for you to drive away so they can go get the cash. And what it was it was a device that was attached to the ATM, and it was literally sticky. And it captured the money. And so they just took the money off and reapplied it. So if you see that, call the police.
Right.
if you see that your ATM, you see there's no error message on the screen, give us a call because it may be something else. We've also seen one. It wasn't even a skimmer. It was a burglary. The ATM was not working. There was actually somebody breaking into the ATM inside the business while the person was at the ATM, and it wasn't working. So they just said, "Oh, it's not working." So give us a call because then we can at least come check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's nothing, it's nothing. If it's something, we can deal with it. For the skimmers, if it looks bulky. That may be an issue. It does not hurt to pull on where you insert your card. Just pull on it. If it comes off, you got an issue. You got an issue.
Yeah.
Where you type your PIN in, if it looks like there's some sticky residue around it because it has to be applied with some either glue to make it stay. If it looks like it's sticky around, then there may be an issue.
Right.
Try to peel it up. If it comes up, we got a problem. If it doesn't, then it should be safe to use. So there are some things that you can look for. We're not going to catch every single one, but if we start to catch more of them, maybe the fraudsters will turn to something else.
Absolutely. The more education that we have of what we should look for,
Correct.
the better we'll be.
Correct.
Gosh, I hate thieves.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I get it.
I don't like thieves.
And this is just one type of
This is just one type.
of fraud that we deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate. I know there's a lot of citizens out there that appreciate what y'all doing. It's, as we talked before, just again for some of our residents, they couldn't pay for their rent for a month. Right.
Correct.
That's a huge stressor.
That can be life altering.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That can change the complete trajectory of your being.
Yeah.
You can't pay your bills. You can't pay your mortgage, your light bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got kids. You got to pay for.
Can't make
school.
a tuition payment. Can't. Anyway. Keep it up and I was just say we'd love to have you come back, but that means you're going to tell us about more terrible things. Maybe next time you can come in. You can bring Danny Clements in. You can bring Bromley back. We can maybe talk. Do you guys like fishing?
Dan definitely likes fishing. Yeah.
I know Dan likes fishing.
He likes fishing.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
But again, thank you very much. And honestly, the education is the first step to prevention.
Absolutely.
Right? So thank you for being here with us. Thank you for staying tuned, staying connected, and until next time, stay safe.